bienvenida a todos los que están aquí esta tarde. Este se llama el Gran Debate de 2022. And we want to welcome everybody that's here this evening and took the time to come to be informed and to know exactly what's going on with our government. And we want to welcome you here to this place. This is called the Great Debate 2022. We're going to start with prayer this afternoon. So I want to ask Angel, could you come and pray this afternoon, please?
Padre Santísimo en los cielos de Dios, en esta hora, Dios eterno, te damos gracias, Padre bendito, por la oportunidad que nos da, mi Dios, de poder estar presente aquí, mi Dios, apoyando, Padre bendito, a tu hija, mi Dios, a Karen y Bedonie, mi Dios. Te damos gracias porque podemos ser participantes, mi Dios, de esta lucha, Padre bendito, mi Dios, de llegar a la gobernatura, mi Dios, para que el Estado, mi Dios, tenga un cambio, mi Dios, que tanto lo necesitamos. Padre, en el nombre de Jesús, te suplicamos, Padre bendito, que nos asistas, que nos ayudes, que nos des de tu gracia, para que todo lo que se haga sea para honrar y alabar tu nombre, mi Dios. Amén, Señor.
I want to welcome everybody to this place. This is the Church Jesucristo es la única respuesta. Christ is the only answer. And we opened our doors with lots of, it was our pleasure to open our doors for anybody that would like to come and be informed. So we're glad that you're here. Estamos dándole la bienvenida. Esta es la iglesia Jesucristo es la única respuesta. Y les damos la bienvenida a cada uno de ustedes. Gracias por haber asistido para informarse sobre cómo están corriendo las cosas y lo que usted, junto con nuestra candidata, puede lograr hacer. Y mi nombre es Josie Solís. Yo me congrego aquí en esta iglesia y esta tarde voy a ser la moderadora de este debate, de esta información más bien, porque los otros candidatos no llegaron. Entonces vamos a tener tiempo libre para poder contestar cada una de las preguntas. My name is Josie Solís. I congregate here in this church. And because the moderator did not arrive, then I will be the moderator this afternoon for you. The other candidates did not show up, of course. We kind of knew that, but they aren't here. So we're going to have all the time in the world to ask the questions and get the information we need from our candidate for governor. And with that, I would introduce to you our candidate for governor, and that we are, by faith, believing will be our future governor, Karen Bedonie. La primera pregunta esta tarde, and the first question this afternoon is, why is the Constitution so important, and do you feel everyone should have some level of knowledge of it? La primera pregunta dice así, ¿por qué es importante la Constitución de los Estados Unidos y usted cree que es importante que cada ciudadano tenga conocimiento de ella?
Good evening. My name is Karen Bedonie. I am a Navajo from northern New Mexico. Can you guys hear me okay? Okay, I'm Navajo from northern New Mexico. So Karen Bedonie and share tokan and share hashtan zohe bashichin tohe glady dashiche. And that's where I'm from. Now, the Constitution is an amazing document. It has given us citizenship across America. And what it has done, our forefathers written a document that was nearly perfect, with a few amendments added to it to ensure that we, the people, always had control over our government. And yes, you have to have some knowledge of it, because it gives us the freedom to live as Americans and not underneath oppression or suppression or persecution. We are innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. That's what it says. But the First Amendment is one of the amendments that created America. The freedom of religion and the freedom to speak as you see fit. And it is very important we have that so that we can express ourselves, especially when tyranny is involved or someone is oppressing us or injuring us. We can also speak against things that hurt us and hurt our family. So the First Amendment is amazing. It's also the freedom of religion that gives us the Lord and Jesus and how we're able to practice our religion and be able to set forth our lives so that we can always have Jesus Christ in our lives and also our children's lives and our grandchildren. The First Amendment is amazing, and we need to make sure we ensure that freedom to pray, because in many countries they did not allow you to pray. In my culture, before we became citizens, they took away our freedom of religion. We were not allowed to pray. They needed to break us because our spirit with the Lord was strong. But the First Amendment, when we became citizens, we were allowed to give that prayer back to our land and also our family, and now our tribe is now growing strong. I am a woman of Jesus Christ. I am here because the Lord has told me to, that we need to stand up as American people in our freedom to fight for our children, to fight for our livelihoods, and to fight for what we have worked so hard for. I want you to have your freedom and your prosperity, and everything that is wrapped up in the First Amendment is you should be able to be free Americans. Now, the Second Amendment is also super extraordinary. It is the right to bear arms. It's not going to tell us what kind of arms, but you have the right to carry against the government. That's what it was set forth there. If the government came into your home, which is also another amendment that was broken. The Fourth Amendment was currently broken by the United States against Donald Trump the last 2 weeks. They invaded his home. That is against the Constitution and your rights as Americans. The government should never be able to enter into your home without a warrant, but even those warrants must be done correctly, and the Constitution should be able to protect you. The 14th Amendment is also a big part of this. You have to know what it does, and it actually gives you protection and gives you the right to stand up and be a representative as you see fit. The amendments are there, and the Constitution has been embedded into our lives as Americans to give you the freedom and liberty to produce and to have children and to keep what you earn and less taxation. No more taxation without representation. Now, because we don't understand the Constitution, those rights are being violated. Currently, the United States is employing 87,000 new agents that are going to be told and implored to carry an armed weapon. It's going to be taxation with gunpoint. And this is where we're headed down the path. If the people of the United States do not understand the Constitution and do not stand up and say this is wrong. The Constitution is the greatest weapon in our lives right now, and it must be respected and protected so that our republic can continue to, exist. If not, communism will be here on our doorstep. Socialism is currently knocking. But we must use the Constitution as a weapon and also as a shield against the government. So it is very important that people should understand the Constitution, study it, and know it. And it should be part of our curriculum where the new Americans that are coming forth should know exactly what they are up against and how they can save themselves. But it's a beautiful document, and I do think everyone needs to be privy to what it actually says.
Sé que no voy a poder traducir todo eso, pero lo básico es que nuestra Constitución es nuestra defensa y nosotros debemos conocerla bien, conocer las leyes. La primera ley, la libertad de adorar con libertad al Dios que nosotros queremos, donde nosotros queremos y como nosotros queremos. La libertad de cargar armas, de portar armas para nuestra defensa, para la defensa de nuestra familia. La libertad de poder vivir en nuestros hogares en paz, tranquilos. Nadie tiene derecho de venir a invadir nuestros hogares. Nadie tiene derecho de venir y meterse nomás porque quiere y invadir nuestra vida privada. Entonces es bien importante que nosotras y nosotros conozcamos bien la Constitución. La Constitución fue fundada al inicio basada en la ley de la palabra de Dios. Y cuando esa Constitución se escribió precisamente por eso, porque el país es un país que debe estar bajo la unción y la ley de Dios mismo. Nuestra candidata es una persona salva, entregada a Cristo Jesús, con convicciones básicas, con convicciones para guardar nuestro gobierno sano y sirviendo al Dios de dioses y Rey de reyes. question is, in your opinion, what can be done to help with poverty and crime in the small communities in New Mexico? En su opinión, ¿qué se puede hacer para combatir el crimen, la pobreza en las comunidades chicas de Nuevo México?
I come from a poverty-stricken community. We are very poor. Socialism is there and it's rampant. Communism is now taking over. We don't have control over anything, and we all wait in line for a paycheck at the 1st of the month or the 15th of the month. We have social service programs there, and it's a very stressful way of life. There is no opportunity. There is no jobs. There are no jobs. You have to create your own job for you to be successful. And then crime is a big issue there. Now what I've done, and I've really studied this, it has to do with economics and giving freedom and the sense of identity and individual success. When that is now given to a person, they will stand up out of poverty. Socialism breeds poverty. Socialism is a government-controlled blanket that wraps around a community. Poverty is the byproduct of socialism. Inside poverty, it's very stressful. You need to, when you're in that situation, you don't know how to have prosperity. How are you going to make your vehicle payment, your insurance payment? The lights, keep them on. How do you keep the water bill paid? And a lot of people in that situation, they're so stressed out that they end up turning to drugs and alcohol to self-medicate that stress. So poverty is the byproduct of socialism and all the crime, drugs, alcohol, domestic violence. A lot of these issues come from poverty directly, and it's engineered that way by the government. They want to make sure that they will make people of the same type of heritage fight one another. And it works because domestically we do it. We get stressed out and we argue with the husbands and wives. They fight about money, they fight about the children, they fight about education. Now, if there's a business owner that somehow decides to stand up within their community, start a tire shop, own a business, their life gets a little bit better. They have better things. The husband seems to function better. He has more morale, some more pride inside of him. It's called resiliency and self-independence. What we have to do is we have to ignite the economy and make New Mexico prosperous. We have to make sure you all have the opportunity to climb out of poverty if you wish. We also need to stop the drugs and the alcohol. We need to have support systems put in place. The war on poverty isn't just saying it. It's a generational thing. And we're going to have to educate the people and tell you that you do not have to suffer. You do not have to sit there and wait for the 15th of the month to come around. There is more for you. When you stand up and taste freedom inside entrepreneurship, underneath small business ownership, you will feel it. And it's wonderful because I've started so many businesses of not my own, but other people who had the American dream. The American dream is not dead. It's there for your children. I want to make sure each and every one of them chases that dream, no matter how crazy it is. If they want to go be a ballerina, I think they should chase that dream, and we should offer education for them to get to that point. But for small communities, I think that I need to ignite the population of New Mexico, 11 to 14%, to entrepreneurship and small business ownership. And if we all of us hire 1 to 2 New Mexicans, that we can literally wipe out the unemployment rate and beat Trump's national unemployment rate. We can do this when we decide we want more. Is this not America? Is this not how your forefathers came here? Your ancestors came here for a better life. I want to give that to you, all of you. And my ancestors on the Navajo Nation, I want to give them back the freedom they had, because we never came from another country. We never escaped oppression, suppression, persecution. We were a free people, absolutely free. And I know that freedom exists, and that's what I want for you. When you are free, you will be free from poverty. And that is my dream, and that is why I'm running for governor.
Nos hace saber nuestra candidata que ella viene de una área y de familia también con pobreza, muy humilde, y que nosotros podemos cambiar esa situación. Nosotros tenemos el derecho de poder hacer algo con nuestra vida. La pobreza atrae todas las demás cosas que nosotros estamos viendo hoy en día, el abuso en las familias, los problemas matrimoniales, la drogadicción, todo eso viene. Pero cuando una persona, ya sea el marido, el esposo o la esposa, pueden comenzar un negocio, por más menor que sea, eso levanta la estima, el moral de aquella persona. Y cuando la persona tiene un moral positivo, se acaba el abuso, se acaba la pobreza, se acaba la negatividad y se acaba el sentir de no poder ser nadie. Ella nos dio algunos ejemplos de cómo, y nosotros lo sabemos, que la nación Navajo, junto con todas las demás naciones indígenas, eran libres. Esta tierra era de ellos. Ellos tenían toda la libertad. Como digo ella, nosotros nunca escapamos, nosotros nunca veníamos de ningún otro lugar. De aquí éramos y teníamos la libertad de hacer algo por nosotros y por nuestras familias. Y eso es lo que ella quiere para todo Nuevo México, para toda raza, para todos aquellos que ahorita no tenemos la posibilidad, quizás, que no sabemos de dónde vamos a pagar nuestra casa, cómo vamos a pagar nuestros biles, pero que hay la oportunidad. No tenemos que depender solamente como el gobierno está establecido para hacernos sentir que no tenemos valor, que no tenemos posibilidades, que no podemos llegar a hacer nada, que tenemos que depender de ese cheque que viene el día primero, el día 15 o el día último. Pero cada uno de nosotros tiene la posibilidad de lograr hacer algo aquí. Y eso es lo que nuestra candidata quiere lograr hacer para cada persona en Nuevo México. La cuarta pregunta dice, this question involves my 14-year-old grandson, who recently was told he would play the role of a princess in a school play. As a result, his father confronted the teacher, and the school retaliated against both. My son-in-law has a restraining order on him, and my grandson is no longer allowed to attend the school, and was not allowed to enroll in a nearby public school. How can you as a governor help to avoid this from happening to other families in New Mexico? Esta pregunta concierne a mi nieto de 14 años de edad, que hace poco se le dijo que él tenía que hacer el papel de una princesa en un drama que se iba a hacer en la escuela. Como resultado, su padre confrontó a la maestra y la escuela le castigó a los dos. Al padre le puso una restricción que él no puede ir a la escuela, y su hijo no se le permitió continuar atendiendo esa escuela, ni tampoco se le permitió ir a las escuelas públicas. ¿Cómo puede usted, como gobernadora, ayudar a evitar que estas cosas pasen a otras familias aquí en el estado de Nuevo México?
To know that you as parents don't have control over the education system in our state is very heartbreaking. I know that the PED system in place in New Mexico does not give the power back to the parents to decide what is being taught to your children. The textbooks are kind of vague on what you want to know what's happening. Without having cameras inside, it's very uneasy to know what's happening. CRT and this whole gender studies is now part of the package. PED and the the New Mexico state education system also has control over the Navajo and all the other tribes, including these small communities. They monopolize the money. So when they issue money to your school system, it comes with strings attached. And they say that in order for you to get this money, you have to teach this type of curriculum. You have to teach gender studies. You have to mask your children. You have to make sure they have mandates. That is the control of the government system. I do not want government in your child's life. I think you should have control over that. I want to give that power back to the parents, and you should be able to vet all of your students' teachers, even your administration, to see what kind of people they are. Because there's a package that was done in the 1980s and 90s when they started pushing leftist progressive issues. Because I went to the university during that time that was very leftist thinking, indoctrination, and a lot of them are tagged into the social justice warrior, social studies programs. And there is where they taught these teachers how to teach these things. And they literally believe that they are doing the right thing. It is not the right thing. So we need to make sure we vet these teachers. But how do we do that, Karen? By giving the parents the money. We're looking at an $8,000 tax credit given to you for every child from K to 12. So if you have, like I did, 8 children in the house, that's a $64,000 income for your children's education. You are the CEO over your children's education. If you choose to homeschool, that money will be given to you to homeschool. If you decide to go to a hybrid school or a private school, you put that money there for that school. If you choose to go to public school, your money will go to that public school. If this teacher, and if this happened here underneath my governorship, you would have pulled that child out of that school and taken your money with you. You're going to watch these school districts that are hurting these students shrink, and you're going to see where the bad education is. Now the schools that are doing it right and they have your values and morals intact with conservatism, if that is your family background, then that is the school that you will want your child to attend, and you will gladly put the money there. I am giving you the power back to the people and back to your school board. When you have the money, you're going to watch the school board shape up pretty fast. You're going to watch your administration listen to you, and you're going to watch these teachers do the right thing and not be worried about what they think is right, but they're going to actually teach directly from the textbooks that you deem fit. This is how we have to do this. The people of New Mexico are going to have to make sure this happens, and we do it by putting the power of the education system right back into your hands, and this is how we conquer that mess.
El hecho que no tenemos como padres el derecho de manejar la educación de nuestros hijos ha sido frustrante en el aspecto que nosotros no tenemos el derecho de decidir qué hacen nuestros hijos. Incluso nos han quitado el derecho de disciplinar, de decidir qué estudian nuestros hijos, dónde estudian nuestros hijos y ahora aún el costo de dónde vienen. La candidata está ofreciendo cambiar todo el sistema educativo en ese aspecto, darnos otra vez el derecho a los padres de decidir a qué escuela van nuestros hijos, dándonos fondos para que cada familia, por cada hijo que nosotros tenemos, reciba un dinero para poder invertirlo en la escuela que usted escoja para su hijo, en la universidad que usted escoja, y si usted elige educarlos en casa, usted usaría ese dinero para comprar los recursos que ellos necesitan y que usted va a necesitar para enseñarlos. Todas las cosas que hemos tratado ahora vienen enredadas con el socialicismo, y eso es lo que ella quiere combatir, porque ese tipo de gobierno es el tipo de gobierno que nos está robando a nosotros el derecho, y que tiene el derecho cada maestra y cada distrito de enseñar lo que quiere y promover lo que quiere. Y el derecho debe ser de nosotros los padres. Cuando ella sea gobernadora, va a regresar el derecho a la familia, a los padres, para que seamos nosotros quien decide, y de la misma manera quitar todos esos libros y esa educación que no va conforme la palabra de Dios, para mejorar la vida de nuestros hijos y de nuestras familias.